The story begins on a quiet island called Whale Island, where a young boy named Gon Freaksis dreams of becoming a hunter. Determined to prove himself, Gon sets out to capture a giant monster fish known as the Master of the Swamp, a feat that hadn't been accomplished in 20 years, not since his father, Jing Freaksis, managed to do it. While Mito, the woman who raised Gon, was preparing fish, she overheard the townspeople talking about Gon. They were impressed that he was attempting something only his father had achieved decades ago. Mito, however, had her doubts. She had set this challenge for Gon, hoping it would stop him from taking the hunter exam. She was hesitant to let him follow in his father's footsteps. But Gon succeeded. He caught the massive fish and proudly brought it to the village port, astonishing everyone. Mito, however, was not pleased. Before Gon could leave the island, she tried once more to persuade him not to take the exam. She warned him about the dangers of becoming a hunter and reminded him of how Jing had abandoned him as a child. Gon responded that he wanted to understand why his father chose to become a hunter, even if it meant leaving his own son behind. Mito insisted that it was a dangerous path, but Gon stood firm in his decision. The next morning, Mito and her grandmother tearfully said goodbye to Gon as he boarded a ship. The people of Whale Island gathered at the dock to see him off. Gon declared that he would become the greatest hunter in the world. Once aboard the ship headed to the hunter exam site, Gon noticed that some of the passengers were laughing at him. Still, he stayed calm and observed them. Soon after, he saw a crew member named Katso being bullied by his fellow sailors. Gon stepped in to help. Not long after, the ship's captain came out and scolded Katso, telling him to get back to work. Gon then warned the captain that a storm was approaching. Surprised, the captain asked how Gon knew that. Gon explained that the seabirds flying above were acting strangely, a sign they were warning each other of a coming storm. He also mentioned he could smell the change in the air. This surprised the captain and reminded him of someone from his past. As the storm raged on, most of the hunter exam applicants on the ship became seasick except for Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio. The captain called the three of them in and asked why they wanted to become hunters. Gon answered first. He said he wanted to understand why his father became a hunter and left him behind. Kurapika explained that he wanted to become a blacklist hunter so he could hunt down the Phantom Troop, a dangerous group that had massacred his clan. Leorio, at first, refused to share his reason. But when pushed, he admitted that he wanted to become a hunter for wealth and status, including access to exclusive facilities and privileges. Kurapika criticized Leorio for being selfish, which angered Leorio. They began to argue and eventually took their fight to the deck. At the same time, the crew was struggling to keep the ship steady in the storm. Katso lost his balance and was about to fall overboard. In a flash, Gon jumped into the water to save him. Kurapika and Leorio quickly grabbed Gon's legs to pull them both back onto the ship. The next morning, Katso thanked them for saving him. Leorio and Kurapika also made peace with each other. The captain, now impressed by the three, promised to take them to a special harbor that led directly to the hunter exam site.